The news team that stands for you. This is CBS Local 2 News at 5:30.
That's basically just basic cost cutting that Elif's gotten us through, so the city will make it through June without having to file bankruptcy.
Can Desert Hot Springs climb out from under millions of dollars of debt? New budget numbers are out. Bankruptcy looks to be off the table. The city can pay its bills for another 6 months, but more cuts are on the way. Good evening. I'm Scott Hennessy. Chris Long and Brooke Berry are off tonight. The city of Desert Hot Springs is making strides to climb out of its multi-million-dollar financial crisis. We first reported about the city's budget deficit in November. First to tell you about it, CBS Local 2's Laura Yanez is live in the newsroom with more on the city's efforts to get its fiscal house in order. Laura.
Scott, there have been some improvements made to help ensure the city dodges bankruptcy. However, Desert Hot Springs isn't in the clear just yet, and budget cuts are only beginning.
Desert Hot Springs Council member Russell Betts tells us it took draining the city's savings to put its fiscal house in order.
It's been a difficult road to get to a point now, but it does look like we have now averted bankruptcy.
The council also voted to cut costs, trimming dollars anywhere and everywhere possible.
We've made a series of cuts everywhere from travel moratoriums to eliminating cash out on holiday pay, and of course a very deep and regretful cut to city employee pay of 22%, which is no small measure.
The chief of police, along with the commander, then retired, sparing the police department's two highest paid salaries to help close the city's more than $3 million budget gap.
Originally was around 6.9, and so using reserves and cuts, we've closed that gap so that we can make it till June 30th.
Revised numbers project the city will spend more than $16 million and bring in $14.1 million in revenue.
We still have at least a $2 million problem going into next year that we've got to find at least another $2 million worth of cuts.
No word what cuts will be made next, but as the city gets down to the bottom of the barrel, it remains hopeful.
We've got a great community, a lot of people chipping in to volunteer, take over some things that might otherwise cost the city money, and we'll get through it.
Mayor Pro Tem Betts tells me he hopes 2 years from now, Desert Hot Springs will be viewed as a model city when it comes to finances, and he will not allow this financial destruction to happen again for as long as he's on council. Live in the newsroom, I'm Laura Yanez, CBS Local 2. Back to you, Scott.
Okay, thank you, Laura. An underground tobacco economy is costing state and local governments much-needed tax